Tonight, labor strife, parental anxiety, and federal politics.
And how it all mixed together today on the campaign trail.
We hope that both sides can come to an agreement.
With the threat of Ontario school closures, Andrew Scheer appears in Ford Nation without Premier Ford.
More women candidates are running than ever before. Why that may not translate into more wins.
Allegations of phone hacking with a royal twist. Prince Harry sues the tabloids.
And assessing head injuries in real time.
I feel a lot safer on the field knowing that there's somebody on the sideline basically having my brain in their hands.
The Canadian team where every player has a chip in their helmet. This is The Nation. Ontario families are bracing for impact as 55,000 education workers prepare to go on strike.
Yeah, parents are panic scheduling, calling in favors, or let's face it, getting ready to call in sick.
On Monday, barring an agreement with the province, hundreds of schools will close their doors, leaving hundreds of thousands of kids at home. It is the kind of disruption that could be a big factor in the federal election.
But before we get to the politics, let's talk about the people in the path of this strike. Here's Ellen Morrow as the clock ticks down to the deadline.
Okay, the water's a tiny bit cold.
Okay. Aesthetic student Corey Sakaluk is studying under stress as the possible strike looms.
It means additional expense, additional inconvenience, disruption of day-to-day routines, and for our children, it means that their learning is interrupted.
Sakaluk has a 7-year-old son, Joe. She's worried about being forced to miss classes of her own to care for him.
I'm running low now on OSAP funds, and I'm initiating a job search, so it's really stressful.
According to Queen's Park Briefing, more than 1.4 million kids could be out of school Monday. At least 35 school boards will be closed if there's a strike.
A lot of parents in my child's class are struggling. We're relying on each other, or we're having to suddenly incur a lot of expenses for childcare.
And to help, day camps will open across the province, including here at T-Dot Tumblers.
It'll just be a hassle for parents, so this is a place they can come to.
While parents come up with creative solutions, negotiators are struggling to do the same.
We need to see a reversal of the cuts that have been made. We need to see improvement in frontline services.
I need that spirit of cooperation, that openness, that reasonableness that we've demonstrated to date to be matched by the other parties, particularly the union.
Despite the uncertainty, Sakaluk says the potential parental pain might be worth it.
If we take the hit now and resolve this now and ensure there's adequate funding, then hopefully he can have a great education the whole time he's in school.
Talks resumed here in downtown Toronto this evening. The government wants to tighten up sick leave policy. It says it costs too much money and promotes absenteeism. But the union says that policy protects its employees, who make an average of $38,000 a year. Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Toronto.
So as parents, people adapt. As voters, they tend to point fingers. Ontario's Doug Ford's government has a big profile, and as Salima Shivji explains, that is exactly what the federal Conservatives are worried about.
A campaign event inside a hotel room in the heart of Doug Ford country, with the Premier missing in action.
Justin Trudeau has failed.
As Andrew Scheer tries to turn on the charm in Ontario's battleground ridings, he keeps getting confronted with anger.
I won't be voting for Andrew Scheer just because of Doug Ford and what he's done to my family.
Parents mad about cuts to services. Education workers poised to strike, mad about workload. The blame falling squarely on Ford and by proxy, his federal counterpart. The Liberals know it and are exploiting it. Their leader, as he swings through key ridings in Quebec,
people like Doug Ford, Conservatives like Doug Ford and Andrew Scheer. Doug Ford did that.
And his candidates in Ontario.
Andrew Scheer is going to double down, and he's going to do the same thing.
Where is Doug Ford? We are here in the province of Ontario. Mr. Ford, if you're out there, we want to see you.
Scheer brushed off worries the fallout from the strike will hit him.
I think people in Ontario understand that there have been strikes at the education level against every political party who have been in office.
Even so, the cavalry has been called in to Ontario from out west.
The Honourable Jason Kenney.
An Alberta premier who knows his way around Ottawa politics. Jason Kenney is on Scheer's side, just not by his side. He's campaigning alone so as not to draw attention to that other Conservative premier.
We're all going to take our own approach. I'm just here as a leader of the third largest economy in Canada to say we desperately need a new federal government.
A bold move followed by another.
Andrew Scheer!
The Tory campaign is pulling out all the stops for this rally, ordering supporters to get out here fast, and doing something they said they wouldn't do, pulling volunteers from door knocking to build this crowd. It's an attempted show of force for the cameras in all-important Ontario, where the national campaign is facing provincial pressure. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Toronto.
Even as Jason Kenney helps out his federal cousins, the RCMP continues to probe the 2017 leadership race of his United Conservative Party. CBC News has also been investigating, and tonight, Carolyn Dunn has some new details about how some votes for Kenney were allegedly cast online.
In October 2017, this popular salad restaurant was an empty storefront used as a satellite voting office to support Jason Kenney's campaign to lead the UCP. As a volunteer there, Tariq Chowdhury says he and others phoned party members to solicit their PIN numbers to cast an online vote for Kenney.
If somebody, let's say I call and I got a PIN from somebody, I will go to those computer guys and give it to them PIN so they will vote.
Chowdhury says those computer guys were covering their tracks electronically, using software to disguise the IP number on their devices.
And they said, don't worry, we have a program which can, every time we put the PIN in, it will be different IP number shows.
Chowdhury claims the operation was run by Tim Uppal, now a federal Conservative candidate, as well as UCP board member Cal Tor. He didn't respond to our request for comment, and Uppal denies doing anything but dropping by the voting office. Conservative leader Andrew Scheer is standing by his candidate.
I look forward to working with Tim Uppal as part of the Conservative team.
But Uppal's Liberal rival says community members have been exploited.
They should be allowed to vote willingly instead of other people voting on their behalf.
The UCP insists the Kenney team ran a clean campaign instructing volunteers and organizers they shouldn't take possession of people's PINs. Today, Jason Kenney stood by the voting process.
I've always said that I'm confident that no one in our central campaign did anything wrong. Our core campaign team was absolutely focused on complying with some rigorous rules.
Duff Conacher of Democracy Watch says political parties shouldn't be allowed to oversee their own elections.
The parties regularly break the rules, either one faction or another, or the party overall.
The RCMP continues its months-long investigation into identity fraud in the UCP leadership race. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
There might have been a time when scandal and controversy just punctuated politics. This federal election campaign, they seem to dominate. Evan Dyer chronicles the shame, the blame, and the indignation.
What? The height of hypocrisy. The height of hypocrisy, ladies and gentlemen.
Deception, blame shifting, pointing fingers at others for doing the same as you. The world has noticed that this election has a lot of it. It began with blackface. Trudeau's response? To give a lecture to his children.
I'm going to have a conversation with them tomorrow morning before they go to school about taking responsibility for mistakes we make. That's what I expect of my kids.
But not, it seems, of himself, since he only owned up after he was caught. Then the man who attacked Trudeau for his thin resume before politics was revealed to have an even thinner one. His claims to have been an insurance broker questioned after it turns out he never got his license.
So you were never actually working as a broker then, it doesn't sound like.
As I said, I received my accreditation under the Canadian Accredited Insurance Broker Program. And in this particular office, the licensed brokers finalized all the transactions.
As the voters absorbed that detail, it emerged that Andrew Scheer was also a U.S. citizen.
No one's ever asked me before about it.
This from a man who once took aim at former Governor Michaël Jean for holding a second passport, and whose party has often tried to score points at the expense of dual citizens.
I'm a Canadian and only a Canadian.
The other parties aren't immune either.
Yeah, I find that Bill 21 is really saddening.
All the federal party leaders say they oppose Quebec's controversial restrictions on religious clothing, but the world has noticed they won't do anything about it. So have NDP supporters.
That to me seems a little hypocritical.
And today, from the party that bills itself as Canada's guardians of inclusion and tolerance, Liberal candidate Jamie Battiste in Nova Scotia managed to insult almost everyone in his Twitter feed, all while celebrating the fun of drunk driving. Just another day in an election where the universal slogan seems to be, "Do as I say, not as I do." Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now an update to a CBC Radio Canada exclusive investigation we brought you last month. After analyzing past election results of thousands of candidates, we found that women were more often placed in ridings they had no chance of winning. But that was then. So let's bring in senior data journalist Valerie Willette and talk about what's happening now.
Well, Adrian, this week, Elections Canada finally published its list of confirmed candidates. So that means we can now crunch the numbers and see how women are positioned this election.
Okay.
What stands out in 2019? In the 5 major parties, more women are running than ever before. The gender gap is getting smaller. 42% of all candidates in this election are women. Party by party, the NDP and the Greens have the highest percentages. Close to half of their candidates are women. Compared to the last election, the Bloc Québécois and the Conservatives have made the biggest change. But for any party, this might not be permanent.
It's possible that any party that comes close to parity this time around may not achieve it next time. Integrating women meaningfully into local party leadership, calling nomination contests early, doing a meaningful search, and leaving that nomination contest open for a long time. We don't have a lot of indicators to suggest that political parties in Canada are consistently doing any of those things.
So how many of these women are likely to win? We looked at stronghold ridings, places where a party has a decent chance of winning, and found that 23% of the candidates running there are women. And that has not changed much in the past decade.
It looks like parties are doing better at finding women to be candidates and then turning around and making just as many of them sacrificial lambs. And so what we're not going to see much change, I don't think, in the number of women who are actually elected.
Okay, but clearly we don't know how the story ends yet. You have a lot of numbers to crunch.
And the story ends on Election Day. We have to see how many women from this historic wave will actually make it onto Parliament Hill. And we also have to watch out for women who may be running in ridings that are harder to win, who might beat the odds. So we'll be watching out for that.
Okay, 2.5 weeks to go. Valerie Willette, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, to politics south of the border now, where the screws of the impeachment inquiry are turning on Donald Trump. Tonight, subpoenas have gone to the White House and to the Vice President, Mike Pence. They are demanding documents on that phone call with Ukraine's president, and Trump has been quick to respond. Lindsay Duncombe takes a look.
With increasing evidence, including his own admissions that Donald Trump did exactly what he is accused of, Trump today insisted his motivations are pure.
We're not looking at politics, we're looking at corruption.
That sounds rich to the man Trump has accused of being corrupt with zero proof.
All this talk of the president about corruption comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption.
Newly released text messages suggest the White House wanted to make a presidential visit and military aid contingent on the Ukrainians investigating Joe Biden and the 2016 U.S. election. At one point, the top American diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor, asks, "Are we now saying that security assistance and White House meeting are conditioned on investigations?" The response from the American ambassador to the EU, a Trump donor with no previous diplomatic experience, "Call me." This as the investigation intensifies. Democrats tonight officially sending a subpoena to the White House and signaling they want documents from Vice President Mike Pence, too. The Inspector General who investigated the whistleblower's complaint and deemed it credible spent hours on Capitol Hill answering questions in a closed hearing. Even some Republicans are criticizing Trump.
I think it's terrible. It's something that I wouldn't have done.
Utah Senator Mitt Romney called the president's actions wrong and appalling.
The reality is you can count the number of Republicans openly criticizing the president on one hand. Most are silent. Whatever happens in the coming days and weeks will determine if they stay that way. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Washington.
Well, to the UK now in a new battle royale, calling out the British tabloids for their ruthless campaign of relentless propaganda. Harry and Meghan are striking back in court. And as Thomas Daigle explains, there's history at stake and there's risk.
There was no sign of a legal battle brewing as Prince Harry and Meghan toured Africa the past 2 weeks, even giving the media a rare glimpse of baby Archie. But meanwhile, in London, their lawyers were launching court actions against some of Britain's top tabloids. A way for Harry to again demand they back off. But why now?
If it had happened ahead of the tour, people would have criticized them for detracting from the tour. He did not want to do this, and nobody would have wanted to do this while Meghan was on maternity leave with their newborn son.
The Duke of Sussex is targeting the publishers of The Sun and The Daily Mirror, suing them for allegedly hacking into his voicemail when he was a teenager. The infamous News of the World collapsed in 2011 over its massive phone hacking scandal. Lawyer Mark Stevens represented victims then, but has this warning now.
The Sussexes rely on the media just as much as the media relies on them.
So this might hurt them in the end.
The Sussex could win the individual legal battles, but overall, the PR war will be lost.
Already this week, the couple said they were suing another tabloid, The Mail on Sunday, for publishing a private letter from Meghan to her father. "My deepest fear is history repeating itself," Harry wrote. "I lost my mother, and now I watch my wife falling victim to the same powerful forces." For Harry, it's clear this battle is personal, but what's unclear is whether it's effective. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, Toronto.
The Hong Kong government just did something it hasn't done in 50 years. It put a ban on face masks imposed under its emergency powers law. The threat for hiding your identity, a year in jail and thousands of dollars in fines. For those who've been protesting for 4 months now, the response was to keep those masks on and push back. Hong Kong's chief executive, Carrie Lam, standing with her entire cabinet, decreed what she suggests will quell protests, if not the rage, in Hong Kong.
We believe that the new law will create a deterrent effect against masked violent protesters and rioters, and will assist the police in its law enforcement.
But setting a deadline of midnight was a bit like setting a fuse. Many Hong Kongers didn't see a deterrent in the ruling. They saw danger. They saw the sort of encroachment on their liberties that they've been demonstrating against. And then they saw strength in numbers. So they took to the streets fully masked anyway.
We are not afraid of this unlawful act, and we will tell the government that we will not surrender because of their suppression, and also the authoritarian government because they are...
For the first time, the entire subway system was closed down. Malls had shut earlier in anticipation of the rough night that did come. Some of the sporadic protests became acts of vandalism against businesses seen as pro-China. And for the second time, a protester was hit with live ammunition. An off-duty police officer reportedly shot a 14-year-old in the thigh after a scuffle. And protesters seemed to turn on the officer, throwing a Molotov cocktail at him and beating him. Protesters are getting bolder as the laws are getting tougher. As with every weekend these days in Hong Kong, now what? And so it's daytime Saturday in Hong Kong right now. The subway is still closed. Protesters are still vowing to rally again with their full face masks on.
And more news still ahead on The National, including the Brexit clock ticking. Margaret Evans explains what we know and maybe more importantly, what we don't know about exactly what happens after that Halloween deadline.
And from Brexit to Wexit, inside the Albertan separatist movement.
Plus, a development in the criminal case against a man accused of multiple murders in New Brunswick. He is unfit to stand trial, at least for now. The details just ahead. We're back in 2 minutes.
The Brexit deadline is less than 4 weeks away, and the UK and European Union have yet to work out a withdrawal agreement. But try telling that to the British Prime Minister, who tweeted today, "New deal or no deal, but no delay." He may not have a choice in that matter, though. Margaret Evans now on how Britain got to this point and why Boris Johnson may be forced to ask for an extension.
It's hard to believe, but with just 1 month to go until that Halloween deadline, Britain is still walking inexorably towards the unknown. Remember Theresa May, the last British Prime Minister, and her mantra?
Brexit means Brexit.
Well, she was replaced by Boris Johnson and his mantra.
Let's get Brexit done. Let's get Brexit done.
Get Brexit done.
He hasn't made much progress, but he's certainly made a splash. He's lost a disappointed brother from his cabinet, his majority in Parliament, and a whole slew of votes. He's purged his Conservative Party of some of its most distinguished members and been accused of lying to the Queen after the Supreme Court judged his decision to suspend Parliament illegal. All in aid of getting Brexit done. One more thing. The opposition has boxed him in. They've introduced legislation that will compel Johnson to ask for a Brexit delay if he can't reach a deal with the European Union.
I'd rather be dead in a ditch.
Johnson's critics suspect he still may try to defy Parliament with the help of this man. Rasputin, Moriarty, take your villainous pick if you're a Remainer. Dominic Cummings is widely seen as the man behind Johnson's take no prisoners strategy, a hero to those who believe delivering Brexit is the people's will. But he's also accused of just plain stirring the pot.
We're enjoying this. We're going to win. We're going to leave.
Right now, it doesn't feel much like anyone's winning. The mood toxic, and much of it being laid at the Prime Minister's feet, aiming wartime words like surrender and collaboration at the opposition.
It is Jeremy Corbyn's surrender bill. That's what it is. It means running up the white flag. The bill's shameful.
Enter the Incredible Hulk. Johnson has compared Britain's efforts to break free from Brussels to the big green one, saying the Hulk always manages to escape his shackles. Maybe not the best negotiating tactic, but certainly one for the headlines as October 31st approaches. Trick or treat. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
Okay, let's get to Ian now in our Vancouver National Newsroom. He's watching developing stories for us.
And let's begin in New Brunswick, Andrew, where Fredericton shooter Matthew Raymond has been found unfit to stand trial on 4 charges of first-degree murder. Raymond is accused of killing 2 police officers and 2 civilians last summer outside a Fredericton apartment complex. A jury found the 49-year-old's mental illness prevents him from being able to defend himself, even with a lawyer.
Mr. Raymond will be going off to treatment. There'll be a 60-day order. He's off to treatment, and hopefully he can be made fit prior to trial so that he can have a fair trial.
Raymond's fitness will be reassessed once his treatment is complete. Health officials in Newfoundland and Labrador are warning residents of an E. coli outbreak following 22 confirmed cases in the province this week. Officials have yet to confirm the source, but they do say most of the cases are concentrated in eastern Newfoundland. Several students at Memorial University have been treated for symptoms. At least 1 person has been admitted to hospital. And some 5,000 workers set up picket lines across Saskatchewan today. Workers walked off the job after 7 provincial crown corporations failed to reach a new collective bargaining agreement with the province. The workers say they're being offered no wage increase for the next 2 years. The province says its offer includes a 5% increase within 5 years. Essential services such as 911 and dealing with power outages will be maintained. News today that Bernie Sanders suffered a heart attack. The impact on his campaign in about 20 minutes.
And much more news ahead on the National, including the future of Canadian pipelines depends on who forms the next government. So tonight, we go in depth with some of those who say this is personal.
What does a pipeline have to do with reconciliation?
That means self-sustainability, creating our own wealth for our families down the road.
We'll be right back.
I didn't think the government was actually this stupid to buy a pipeline.
It was a surprise move back in 2018 when the Trudeau government vowed to spend billions on the Trans Mountain Pipeline and its proposed expansion. For decades, that pipeline has moved Alberta crude from Edmonton to Vancouver. In 2015, pipeline owner Kinder Morgan sought to nearly triple the capacity so that oil sands bitumen could reach markets beyond the U.S.
We haven't been getting full value for our oil.
But the expansion was mired in objections from First Nations and others. Kinder Morgan was getting cold feet, so the government bought the project to save it. But since then, Justin Trudeau has raised the possibility of Indigenous groups buying a stake in Trans Mountain, even the entire project, and that prospect has divided First Nations. So we asked Nick Purdon to get some perspective from both sides.
So this is the pipe here. So it goes Edmonton, Burnaby.
Mike Labourde is chief of the Whispering Pines First Nation in British Columbia, and he shows me where the Trans Mountain Pipeline is buried under his land.
I want to own this thing.
Labourde represents several First Nations, all located along the pipeline route, who are determined to buy it.
This is literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it'll change the First Nations along these valleys forever.
Now, it's hard to find something more controversial in the country right now than the Trans Mountain Pipeline. For some, it means ecological disaster. For others, economic stability. But there's another point of view. Some First Nations believe buying the pipeline could help them build a new relationship with Canada. I'm here in British Columbia to find out what that means. Why do you want to buy the pipeline?
Like everybody else wants to buy it. It's profitable. They produce revenue and profit daily.
And that profit, Labourde says, means more independence.
We want to be able to provide for our people. I don't want Ottawa providing for our people. Just stay in Ottawa and do your Ottawa thing. Here, if you want to conduct business, you should be dealing with the band office.
For Chief Labourde, buying the pipeline would force fundamental change on relations between First Nations and Ottawa. He says they'd be more like equals.
We'd be included in the Canadian fabric. I wouldn't be talking about my band needs water. Safe drinking water. We've all heard it. It's true, it's real. We have bottled water here. We have to pay for bottled water because the groundwater isn't safe to drink. It's not safe to shower in. And so, had we the resources, we'd be able to complete our water system.
And Labourde isn't just dreaming about buying the pipeline. The group of First Nations he represents has had discussions with the federal government. TD Securities has signed on to provide the billions. And they've got a company to operate the pipeline as well. But here's the thing. It turns out that buying the Trans Mountain Pipeline has become a popular idea among First Nations.
I think as First Nations people, it's time that we start getting involved in owning these major projects.
Shane Godfredson represents another Indigenous group that wants to buy the pipeline. They call themselves Project Reconciliation. What does a pipeline have to do with reconciliation?
We've always, been on the short end of the stick. A lot of the resources that leave our territory, we've never really been truly benefited from those resources. When you look at the state of First Nations, I don't think we've really reconciled, we haven't for a fact. We haven't reconciled with Canada, that buzzword with Reconciliation Canada. And I think from a business point of view, it just makes sense to look at economic reconciliation.
What do you mean?
That means self-sustainability, creating our own wealth for our families down the road.
If you follow the water south, you get to the Coldwater First Nation. Here, they not only don't want to buy the pipeline, they're scared of it.
The biggest concern is protecting our sole source of drinking water for the membership of the Coldwater Band.
Forget reconciliation. Chief Lee Spahan is taking the government to court over the pipeline. He says that's the only way they'll listen to his concerns.
I've invited the Prime Minister to come to Coldwater. The invitation still stands. And, you know, I want him to come look and to see why Coldwater has concerns and issues with this pipeline. The invitation went unanswered. See, that's the existing pipeline, which goes right through the heart of our reserve, right through the middle, from one end to the other. And it's scary, and it's a huge pipe, but it's right beside our water, right on top of our water, because it's...
In a country where many Indigenous communities don't have safe drinking water, on the Coldwater First Nation, people drink right out of the aquifer untreated. And the community wants to keep it that way.
With the pipeline, when that spill happens, where are we going to get our next water from? How is Canada and Trans Mountain going to fix that problem for us?
Why do you say when that spill happens?
Well, you look at the age and infrastructure of the pipeline now. It's what, 50 going on 60 years old? You don't hear Canada or Trans Mountain saying, well, we'll fix that problem and we'll put brand new pipe in there. They'll never do that. It's too costly. That's why I say, when that spill happens, what's going to happen? Who's going to look after us?
Chief Spahan knows there's Indigenous groups who want to buy the pipeline. He thinks the idea is short-sighted.
How is money going to help you out when that water gets contaminated? You know, are those groups going to help us with that water?
Back in Whispering Pines, Chief Labourde says he also worries about the risks the pipeline poses to the environment. But he thinks owning it is the best way to make sure it's safe.
Right now, we don't get any environmental updates, environmental reports. We get most of our news from the news. We have our waterway right next to the pipe. So we want to be able to enjoy the equity, first of all, and then have the environmental oversight so that we can rest comfortably that it's being operated safely. That's why we want to buy the pipe.
If you bought it, what would that day be?
You'll hear me saying yippee all across Canada because it'll be a great day. It'll be demonstrating to First Nations that this stuff can occur in Canada.
In the end, for some First Nations, the pipeline represents a step towards self-sufficiency and independence. But for others, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Isn't that pretty much how the rest of the country is divided? Nick Purdon, CBC News, Kamloops, British Columbia.
Clearly, the Trans Mountain expansion is a big issue. You all have a big stake in it. So here's a reminder of where all the parties stand. As we mentioned, in 2018, the Liberal government bought the Trans Mountain pipeline for $4.5 billion. And if re-elected, the Liberals vow to go ahead with the project and say any of its revenue will go towards fighting climate change.
That allows us to put the profits directly into the fight against climate change.
The Conservatives support Trans Mountain. Andrew Scheer says he will also create a national energy corridor.
It will move oil, gas, hydro, electricity, telecommunications, and accommodate other linear infrastructure.
The NDP opposes the Trans Mountain pipeline. Jagmeet Singh says he would scrap the project entirely.
Well, a project like Trans Mountain, I've been very clear, is a project that I don't think should go ahead.
Singh also says the NDP would want provincial buy-in for all future pipeline projects. The Green Party's opposition to the pipeline has been unwavering. Elizabeth May was arrested at a pipeline expansion protest last year and says her party will not prop up any minority government that wants Trans Mountain.
None of them could possibly be supported by Greens.
The Bloc Québécois wants Quebec to have veto power of any pipeline that might run through the province, And then there is the People's Party of Canada. It strongly supports pipeline projects. When Maxime Bernier was asked how many he thinks Canada could build,
as much as the private sector wants. You know, it must not be the role of the federal government to build pipelines.
so if elected, the PPC says it would find a private buyer for Trans Mountain.
Okay, and stick around. Next on The National, considering Wexit. Meet Albertans feeling alienated by Canadian politics and seeking separation.
On the new episode of 22 Minutes.
Sounds like you saw Doug Ford.
Impossible. Probably just a Bigfoot.
We're trying to be comic for you.
Tuesday at 8:30 on CBC and CBC Gem.
Ah, crap, forget I said all that.
The level of frustration and alienation that exists in Alberta right now towards Ottawa and the Federation is, I believe, at its highest level, certainly in our country's modern history.
Now, Jason Kenney was beating that drum long before his election this year as Premier of Alberta. And make no mistake, Alberta is fertile ground for public anger, having been battered by world oil prices and frustrated by the lack of new pipelines. But are people there actually ready to separate from Canada? Kathleen Petty looked into it.
Look around, we got a lot more than 8 people in the room today.
Wexit, a new effort to tap into a separatist sentiment in Alberta. At this gathering, about 3 dozen showed up.
The Reform Party in the 80s and 90s, their slogan was "The West wants in." Wexit Canada's slogan is "The West wants out."
Reform Party founding leader Preston Manning says ignore this at Canada's peril.
The populist dimension of Western alienation, it can't be ignored, it has to be addressed.
Jason Kenney, former Reform MP and now Premier, has warned often of a unity crisis. This pollster says Kenney does reflect a slow but deep burn.
There's really a sense of frustration here in Alberta, and Albertans are looking for all ways to express it. And I think when people talk about separation, mostly it is just an expression of frustration rather than a clear desire to separate from Canada.
A vehicle for that frustration is a referendum on equalization touted by Kenney.
So I don't actually view the referendum campaign, if you will, as a serious concern about equalization. It's just a convenient way to harness a sense of alienation and rage.
We brought together a few Calgarians to test the temperature.
And until we have a leader that's willing to step up and kind of unite Canadians as a whole, it's going to be tough for us to feel like we're all one country.
I'm not a separatist. I'm a Canadian first and foremost. But, you know, with the continued aspect that we feel powerless here, separation, is that a viable plan B if we can't work this out?
The final result on October 21st might help focus minds here on whether Albertans can work it out. Kathleen Petty, CBC News, Calgary.
Okay, Ian is next with stories developing around the world tonight, plus making football safer. Forget asking the player if the hit was too hard. How about asking the helmet? We're back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back. Confirmation tonight from Bernie Sanders' campaign that the U.S. Democratic candidate suffered a heart attack earlier this week.
Great. Thank you.
Sanders walking out of a Nevada hospital after being released this afternoon. The U.S. senator underwent surgery to have 2 stents placed in blocked arteries. Sanders says he looks forward to getting back to work. In Iraq, the death toll has more than doubled in the past 24 hours as clashes intensify. Iraqi forces opened fire on anti-government demonstrators. Nearly 60 people have now been reported killed over the past 4 days. Protests were sparked by anger over unemployment and corruption in the government. Iraq's prime minister has appealed for calm across the country. Oscar-nominated actress Diane Carroll, the woman who broke a network television color barrier, has passed away after a long battle with cancer.
You can tell me he's lazy.
In 1968, Carroll became the first African-American woman to lead a U.S. network TV show with her sitcom Julia. She was also the first black woman to win a Tony for Best Broadway Actress. Her daughter confirmed the 84-year-old died at her home in Los Angeles. And the first all-female spacewalk is back on schedule after being scrapped earlier this year. American astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meir will get a chance to make history October 21st when they venture outside the International Space Station. A spacesuit sizing problem prevented an all-female spacewalk in March. All of this coming as NASA continues to push for a mission to land the first woman and the next man on the moon by 2024. Next on The National, a high-tech way to keep football players safer, plus another high-tech game changer in our moment. Meet the quadriplegic man who walked again thanks to an exoskeleton hooked up to his brain. We're back in 2 minutes.
Football season has kicked off at Dalhousie University, and each player is sporting new high-tech headgear, helmets that help coaches monitor in real time the hits those players take to the head. Kayla Hounsell shows us how it works.
As they kick off their home opener, the Dalhousie Tigers say they have something no other university football team in the country has.
Will!
You just saw something with that player.
Yeah, so he's not checked in. You need to check in your helmet there, brother.
They're all wearing helmets embedded with sensors that transmit signals to this device when players take hits to the head. The technology tracks the hits and warns coaches when players reach a certain threshold.
We can get them off the field, hopefully, before they sustain a bad head impact and get them looked at prior to that.
I feel a lot safer on the field knowing that there's somebody on the sideline basically having my brain in their hands.
That person is Casey Jones, team president, assistant coach, and Dalhousie medical student.
I was instantly drawn to this as an opportunity for some important research.
He's collaborating with the Nova Scotia Health Authority, using the data collected by the helmets to figure out how to coach players more safely.
It doesn't tell us when someone has a concussion, but it does tell us when someone has reached, the 1% of hits, that maybe we should take a look at that player when they come off the field.
The helmets are about $500 each. That's $200 more than the old ones. But the coach says it's worth it, and he's already seen the benefits.
We had a player last game. There was a certain area of his helmet that he tended to block with or to lead with. We were able to coach him up through that week of practice, kind of try to help him steer away from that.
Before, it was up to the players to ask for help.
With the football mentality, it's like soldier on, get through it, finish the game, finish the play, finish the drive, right?
Have you ever taken a hit where you think you shouldn't have continued playing, but you did?
Absolutely.
The new helmets take the decision out of the players' hands and put it into the coaches, who say they have no problem pulling players to keep them safe. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
Really neat tech. Okay, next on The National, our moment, a potentially life-changing one. Now check out the technology helping this man to walk again. Right after this. This is Thibault. He used to be an optician, but 4 years ago, a fall left him paralyzed from the shoulders down and in hospital for 2 years. Then came an almost unbelievable opportunity. Thibault's condition had not improved, but a mind-reading exoskeleton suit was ready to be tested, and he was the perfect patient to try it out, to try to walk again. The results are tonight's moment. This is what 2 years of hard work and determination look like. Thibault, who doesn't want his real name used, had 2 sensors implanted near the surface of his brain. Each one has dozens of electrodes that read brain activity. So when he thinks walk, the sensors pick that up and send it to a computer system. That computer system then relays the thought to the exoskeleton. The whole process takes less than 1/3 of a second. Now, Thibault learned how to control his arms the same way, but this is just what happens in the lab.
We perform a proof of concept, like the man on the moon.
Researchers say they have a long way to go to get the exoskeleton out into the real world. Just a step, maybe, but a giant leap for people like Thibault hoping to walk again. And it just blows my mind to see how far the technology has come. Even in the VR space, I mean, they're at a point now where you don't even need controllers anymore, where the cameras can see all of your digits and your joints and know how to map that in the VR space. And it just makes me think, this technology can read our thoughts clearly in such an effective way, our emotions, everything. It's amazing.
So, Andrew, you're right. I mean, this is a moment to marvel at the technology, but also, and you were saying this a little earlier on, the scientists and doctors want us to not overstate what's happened here, for example. It took, I think you said, 2 years for Thibault to basically train the computers to understand his impulses and what he was trying to tell the exoskeleton, and even then, just tiny baby steps. So not for everybody, nowhere near, not yet.
Oh, and they have a long way to go. They have very clear goals, though. It seems that their objective is to try to get it to a point where the brain can control a wheelchair, which is still really unfathomable. That is the National for Friday, October the 4th. Good night.
Good night.